Mr. Mayor, the next item is item 54. It is case C14-2017-0148, known as Zen Garden. The property is located at 3501 at Bluestein Boulevard. The requested zoning is from LINP to LIPDA-NP. This piece of property is approximately 110 acres. It is the site of the old Motorola at Bluestein chip fabrication factory, which closed quite a while ago. The site is mostly, but not totally, unoccupied right now. The applicant came in a request, which I can basically break into two simple pieces. One is to use the PDA tool to alter the parking requirement to be 50% of the standard code. And then secondly, to cut the property into three different areas of height limitation. One area would have a height limitation of 120 feet, with one building known as Building B being allowed to go up to 160. The second area would have a height limitation of 280 feet, and the one area would have a height limitation of 400 feet. The Planning Commission did recommend approval of this item with the additional condition that the impervious cover be limited to 60%. However, staff was not able to recommend the case, the reason being that the current height limitation on the property is 60 feet, and the staff is okay going to 120 across the entire site. We're also okay with Building B going up to 160. But we are concerned about the precedent of the 280 and the 400-foot height limitation on at Bluestein Boulevard. We're concerned about, a precedent that would become the expectation along the entirety of at Bluestein, that 400 feet, and then we're just concerned that that exceeds the height limitation even of a domain, for instance. So anyway, they're requesting to use the PDA. The only disputed point at this point is that the 280 and the 400 feet of height. And with that, move available for any questions. And Terry, Arian, and Adam, the applicant, are also on the line for this, if you have any questions. I believe that they would like to make a presentation.
Okay.
I'm sorry, what was the last thing Mr. Resthoven said? He believes, and then he kind of...
The applicant would like to make a presentation.
Gotcha.
Which they're entitled to do. So we'll go ahead and call the applicant.
Mayor, members of council, this is Terry Arian. Do y'all have the PowerPoint in front of you?
Yes.
Okay. If you'll go to page one or slide one of the PowerPoint, there's a site plan there. The area that Jerry is concerned with, that staff said they could not support, is buildings 1 through 5 along the frontage of U.S. Highway 183. To give you an idea of the scale of this, lots 1, 2, or buildings 1, 2, and 3 occupy about a 10-acre site. Buildings 4 and 5 occupy about an 8-acre site, with about 4 acres of that having been condemned by CTRMA for a detention pond to support the new highway. Jerry has been out to the site several times. Heather Chafin's been out there several times. We've really appreciated their hard work on this, and they've tried really hard to try and understand this project. But we do think that this site is distinguishable from any of the other sites. Boulevard.
If you're not speaking, could you mute your computer? Thank you. Go ahead.
This site is actually, where we're asking for the increased height, is actually kind of the hole in the donut of the 110-acre site. You'll notice on that site plan, NXP has got 79 acres on the north side of the property. HP is 39 acres on the south side of the property. To the rear, to the east, is the Walnut Creek bikeway, and then beyond that is the Walnut Creek wastewater treatment plant. My point is, this site is pretty unique. It's in a 280-acre industrial park. This is the part that has been abandoned for the last decade and a half. and we're trying to do a redevelopment project on it. The area where we're asking for the increased height represents about 15% of the total site. It's kind of a hole in the donut. And as John Hager, the chair of the East MLK contact team, stated earlier today, you know, they really want a job center. Part of the neighborhood plan, goal number 4, was to create high-quality job centers along the frontage of Ed Bluestein Boulevard. To the extent this is creating a precedent, you know, we think it's time that East Austin got a major job center. And this is the place to do it because it doesn't have any negative impact on any neighborhood. If you'll look at slide 2, it details what the request of this project is. The project has an FAR of 1-to-1 with 110 acres. This site is entitled to 4,775,000 square feet of development. We are not asking for any increase in FAR. We offered at the Planning Commission to do a conditional overlay to limit our impervious cover in exchange for height. When the Planning Commission asked us how much we'd be willing to reduce the impervious cover from the allowed 80% in the suburban watershed, we said at that time we weren't really able to commit because we hadn't completed our site plan impervious cover analysis. They wanted to put a number down. They said 60%. When you complete your analysis, if you need more, take it up with the council. We understand. The request here is to 70%. We actually have completed our site plan analysis and can probably get by with 65%. So what we're going to ask for is that the conditional overlay be set at 65%, which is less than the neighborhood said that they would support if that meant that they got all the amenities that we're showing on the site plan for the project. If you'll just go briefly, and I'm going to make this real quick for the rest of this because of the hour, but if you go to slide 3, you'll see that this project, phase 1 of the project, has already started. Building F, H, and J have been, those were 2-story brick buildings. They are in the process of being refurbished as 4-story buildings that will be qualifying for LEED Silver status when completed. They should be finished and online the first quarter of next year. Of the existing buildings, which are all labeled with letters in the center of the project, most of them are going to be 60 feet or less. Building B will be an exception to that. That's the building that we've asked for 160 foot height. It has a floor area of a first floor area of about 85,000 square feet with a 37-foot ceiling height. We think it will make an excellent event center with 2 office towers rising up off of that footprint. In phase 2, we will be developing the warehouse property in the back, and then in phase 3, which probably will be about 2.5, 3 years from now is when we propose building the office towers on the front. I'm going to turn this over to Adam Zarashani, who's the project manager of the project, and he's going to walk through some of the special features that will be incorporated into the building designs.
Good evening, Mayor, Council members. I would like to bring your attention to slide 13. That is a community center that we've designed that will feature approximately 25,000 square feet for civic uses for East Austin. That is to be completed by phase 3. And that will feature a lot of different programs for music and art, which is been the bedrock of East Austin. And this particular building will not be a for-profit center. This will be run by the community and managed by the community. I would like to bring your attention to the slide number 14. We received approval from City of Austin in regards to aviation and flight paths that gave us a clearance on that back in February 2nd of 2018. Please go to slide 15. The slide, we're not there yet.
Keep going.
The slide 15 is, it shows the road corridor, Green Line, Waller Creek Trail, trail access, and airport is within 5.5 miles of us. That will give access to airport. It would be a wonderful feature for activating Green Line. You also notice that we are in a particularly unique situation that we actually, Green Line is within a stone throw away of the property, and it will connect a lot of the smaller communities and give access to the airport. It also, this particular location will help really jumpstart East Austin and the Expo Center and other developments that are being currently considered for development or being planned. Please go to slide number 18. When you go, the image on slide 18 is very much telling. These are thermal storage units that we use to make ice during off-peak hours, and we will get off the grid at peak time, which is between 3 and 5. Now, our energy program is unique because at the very beginning, we got involved with Austin Energy and we made them part of the design of the program, which includes thermal storage and solar. When we are fully matured, this will be one of the largest thermal storage units in the country, as well as 30% of our energy will be produced by solar. Now, we've taken that energy, we distribute it to lower the cost for our future tenants, to make the buildings more affordable and jumpstart East Austin again. We also have qualified for PACE, which is the Property Assessed Energy, Chapter 399 Local Government Code. This will be the largest loan that PACE would be closing in Texas, and this has already been approved as in the works. Please take your attention to number 19 again. The top of these roofs are going to be populated by solar panels. And these solar panels that are on top of the buildings will redistribute power to the occupants. The balance of it is going to be redistributed to the common areas of the campus. We have also planned on phase 1 for 25 charging stations for future electric cars that are coming. Our location is very unique. We have been working very closely, as you heard from the speakers earlier this afternoon, and we have made them part of our design. They have been, for the past 3 years, we have got them involved. We've taken their comments and concerns into consideration. There will be markets and retail components to these buildings, and by reducing the parking, we will be getting much more greener footprint on this side rather than making a concrete jungle.
Equals what we're asking for 65.
We're asking for 65%. I personally think 70 would be better, but we're asking for 65 because we want to. We have. If you look at the site plan, which is first page, let's go to slide number 1. The yellow lines that you observe are all of these are trails that connect the entire campus, and it connects us to Waller Creek Plaza. And this includes
Waller Creek Bikeway.
Waller Creek Bikeway. The other unique feature is the area that Mr. Arian just mentioned that was taken by TxDOT or CTRMA. We have, over the past 3 years, negotiated, and we finally have come to a conclusion that we will be able to use those 4 acres to clean the water that will be coming off of the highway. They're allowing us to put, at our own expense, mechanical devices that will treat the water. This is the first time something like this has happened between a private development and a government entity. They are allowing us to maintain and beautify it, and it will not be a cookie-cutter detention pond that you typically see along the highway. We have taken a lot of measures to preserve the environment and make this a very special center for East Austin. We do need to create employments with high-paying jobs in East Austin. We do need to create transit systems as well as bus systems. Capital Metro, we've been in discussions with. As soon as we get campus more, it matures more, they will be activating bus lines as they used to have when Motorola used to be the center of Austin. So all of those components have been put into place. We have even begun preliminary discussions with Ford Motor Company to bring in driverless vehicles to get people around the campus.
I think that completes our presentation. We'll be happy to answer any questions. While the site plan is still up there, I wanted to point out, you see the blue circle road that circles around the entire 238-acre property. In the back, the yellow trail going from the Loop Road to the Waller Creek Bikeway is what Adam was referring to. Because of the clay soils there, we can't make that trail out of decomposed granite. It will have to be an all-weather surface, and that's one of the reasons we're going to need a little bit extra impervious cover, and would ask that the conditional overlay be set at 65%. That completes our presentation.
Thank you. Council, that gets us to the dais. Anyone want to make a motion? Councilmember Harper Madison.
Remember to unmute this time. I'd like to make the motion to approve Planning Commission's recommendation with this item and an impervious cover limit of 65% on first reading only.
And moved. The PC recommendation changing to 65% impervious cover, first reading. Is there a second to the motion?
And Mayor, we would also
Yes,
include closing the public hearing.
And to close the public hearing. Councilmember Renteria seconds the motion. Councilmember Harper Madison, you want to go first? Okay.
Almost didn't remember to unmute that time. I have a lot to say about this. I think you guys probably got a pretty clear impression about what the neighborhood thinks of the project. It's exciting, you know. It's exciting to feel that feeling. I know Mayor Pro Tem probably feels this, and some of the other folks that have been on the dais for a little longer. And when you finally get something that you think your area needed, it's exciting. It's not every day that you see a landmark project like this that has overwhelming support from the nearby residents, right? This project has the potential to generate jobs, community activity, where we need it the most in our Eastern Crescent. It also sits along that southern Walnut Creek Trail with a all-weather trail, you know, as opposed to the alternative, which I think, you know, a lot of folks in the neighborhood are really excited about. And it could help provide the kind of activity we really need to see to set the Green Line up for success. I still wish there was a housing component, I'll be honest. But for those of you who aren't that familiar with the project, you know, I understand how the applicants' hands are kind of tied right now. I also remain hopeful that we can cut through those knots eventually and find a way to make this a truly mixed use, truly mixed income community development. And with that, I'll defer to my colleagues. Thank you.
And moved and seconded. Any discussion? Let's take a vote. Those in favor of this item, first reading, close the public hearing. PC recommendation, impervious cover to 65%, please raise your hand. Those opposed? It's unanimous.
Mayor, I would like to abstain. I just have some concerns about the 400-foot tower, but I see there's a lot of good in this, but at first reading, I'd like to abstain.
Councilmember Alter abstains. The others voting aye. This passes 10-1. Thank you.